Hello, welcome to today. It is August the 13th, 2020. Today we're going to click down here on August the 13th, 2020. And so it should come up, looks like this. Please click and take your attendance. We have the video that will be updated. It should say August the 13th here. If it does not, please send me an email. Why was the equal sign so humble? He knew he wasn't greater or less than anyone else. And then Mr. Zig Ziglar's quote of the day is, "You are born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win." And that kind of goes with the same thing we had yesterday about having a positive attitude when you have things done. Like if you want to win, like if you want to get a good grade in math class, you need to plan to have a good grade in the math class, and you need to prepare. That means watching these videos and completing the assignments, using the PDFs to help you, and then expect that you're going to do good. And when you don't, contact me and say, "Hey, I need more help. I thought I would do better." Here's today's PDF. You can download it, or you can just open it up right on your computer. It's very similar to yesterday's. A lot of the stuff on it is repeat information, but you still need to go through it. The thing that is new is this part down here where we talk about how to turn a fraction into a decimal. That you can do the long division way. You're more than welcome to do that way. And then the lesson I show you how to do that. The easiest way is just use a calculator. I would use a calculator every single time. And I would use the Desmos calculator. So you'll click and take the assessment after you finish going through that. It's right here, August the 13th, 2020. It's only 6 questions today, and they're fairly easy. And we'll go over those questions now.
August the 13th, 2020's PDF is going to be posted on your assignments page. These are just some review vocabulary terms. They will be important. The two most important are these two here as we go forward. A graphic that explains this information. This is not on your quiz today, so we're not going to go over it. You will need this, square numbers and square roots, for today. And then we've already went over this, so we can skip this part. If you want to read it on the PDF, you're more than welcome to. Can't say this enough. You really, really want to use this calculator. And I will show you why here in a moment. So placing decimals on a number line, like the first step that you really need to do is to try to figure out which two numbers that it falls between. And the same thing is true if you're placing a radical or a square root on the number line. You got to figure out which two number it falls between first. And so estimating non-perfect squares, you can see that we want to estimate 254. We find the one lower, just lower, and one just above. And then whichever one 254 is closest to, in this case it is closest to 256, whatever that comes out to be, 16 as a perfect square is what we're going to estimate it as. How to convert a fraction to a decimal. Some of you guys know how to do this, and that's great. Remember that fraction lines just mean division. So like if I type this into a calculator, this part right here really just means 3 divided by 4. And that's how you get your decimal. If you want to do long division, you can do 3 on the inside and 4 on the outside, and then you work through the long division. And I'll show you an example. On a calculator, you just type in 3 over 4, and it'll give you the exact number. So looking at this one, 3/8, long division wise, it would be 8 on the outside divided by 3. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to place the decimal right there and right there. Add a 0. 8 goes into 30 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. Add another 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. Add a 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. And now I have 0. My final answer is going to be this right here, 0.375. Now that's one way to do it. The easiest way to do it is just open up a calculator, preferably Desmos Scientific Calculator, and just type in 3 divided by 8. See how it looks just like a fraction? And it tells you 0.375. Using the calculator is the easiest way. Another type of problem is see how we have 3/8 here? We still have 3/8 here. The only difference is we've now added on this number here. So know that when I convert this, the first thing I'm going to do is just bring the 3 straight over. Now I'm going to go up and do long division again, which since it's the same, I know it's going to come out to be 0.375, and then I can type in 0.375. What's really is important is when you go to your calculator, don't type it in like this, because what's going to happen is it's not going to convert it for you. The only thing that will convert is the fraction part. So you don't type in the 3 as a whole number in there in front. Just know that right here where the 0 is, that 3 has got to be replaced right there. Alright, so this is, it wants you to estimate these problems to the nearest whole number. And so we've talked about this briefly earlier. The first thing you got to know is which perfect square falls just below and just above. So if we go up to our perfect square chart up here, so it was 188, it falls between these two here, right? And 188 is closer to 196. So estimating it as a whole number is going to be 14 is going to be my answer. So I'm going to go back to that problem, and I say it's going to be estimated roughly, it's not exactly equal to 14. So that is how you estimate to the nearest whole number. I like to write it out like this sometimes. Square root of 188. Well, the one just below it was square root of 169. The one just above it was square root of 196. This is equal to 13. This is equal to 14. And then because this is closer to 196, my answer is 114. Or I'm sorry, 14, not 114. All right, now the next part is this part up here. It wants to know between which two numbers does the square root of 38 fall between on a number line. So again, you need to know what is one below the square root of 38 and one above. Well, if you go back to your chart, square root 38 falls between square root of 36 and square root of 49. But it wants to know these two numbers because it wants to know where it would fall on a number line. So then you go back to your chart, or leave your chart, and you say, okay, well, it falls between 6 and 7. So the answer they're looking for is 6 and 7 because it wants to know which numbers it falls between. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me at esutherland@acsc.net.